Hello, Libra. Welcome to your October soul session. I'm Marlowe. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend. I really literally feel like I'm welcoming everyone back because you guys know, my health crisis, the things, and I've been gone. But whatever the case, we are back. Hopefully, this echo is not too bad in this room. But anywho, let's go ahead and jump in and see what's going on for my Librans for October. The first card out that we have for you guys, Libra, and that's kind of the Seven of Pentacles. So it would seem as if you guys are kind of waiting. You're coming into the month of October at least. Happy, birthday season and whatnot, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Anywho, but you guys are coming into the month more or less waiting for something. So there's something through the month of September, because you guys definitely didn't have a soul session for September, but it's more or less, and okay, and then my guides are telling me that what I would have said in September is what is going to come out in the first three cards. All right, then. Thank you for that. But you guys more or less were putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into something. The first thing that comes to me in reference to this is like work. And it feels kind of like delayed, but not denied, more or less. And for some of you, like there's a smaller percentage involved, but it feels heavily to me about work and finances. And what I'm being shown clearly is someone who you may have been working like overtime or picked up a side hustle, whatever the case. But the specific thing that I'm picking up on is almost kind of doing it blind. So, and this is me just getting all in your business. So this kind of feels like to me, because I do this sometimes, where if you're trying to work towards something, you're kind of like counting every single dollar to reach like a particular goal, right? But then it's like you're getting nerve wracked by it because you're like, dang, it's like I'm doing all this work and the money's not here yet, right? So you just stop looking at it, right? And then when you go back to check it, it's like it's still not the amount of money that you want. So I feel it's kind of like a sense of confusion, like my guides were saying, talking about September, and this is coming into October. That more or less it's like you're kind of frustrated because it's like, dang, what am I doing wrong? So it's kind of trying to feeling like I don't think you guys are quite yet in the place of feeling like you need to go back to the drawing board or reevaluate, but it's more or less kind of having this energy where something has to shift because you've been investing a lot into whatever this is that we're talking about, but your reward is like slow in coming, or how it feels to me, how it would be coming off to you guys is kind of like it's not really worth all the effort you've been putting into it, if that's making sense. Oh, well, hell wow. The next card we have is the World card. And of course, I attribute that to our fixed signs. And that is Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo. So that's one of your Venetian brethren and sisterin with Taurus. And then right after this, we have the star in the reverse, and that's, of course, Aquarius energy. So with the World card, we're talking about the completion of a cycle, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot, or whatever. And I look at that specifically like a karmic kind of cycle. So when I was saying delayed but not denied, that's literally what I feel this is. So now this is kind of getting different. For some of you guys, this could be dealing with a romantical type of person. And I'm seeing that in between the star and the reverse and the Six of Cups. And then my guides are saying it could be a friendship as well. So what I can just pretty much say here, Libra, there's something that's coming in for you guys, right? In the month of October, but the reason why I didn't show up for you guys in September is because there's a karmic cycle that needed to wrap up. I would even say Mercury retrograde. I would feel more in reference to that if where the world is, if that would have been the Wheel of Fortune. But whatever the case, what your priority needs to be right now, Libra, is not necessarily focusing so much on what hasn't worked out, because I'm seeing that it has not worked out because of the karmic cycle needing to wrap up. You know what I'm saying? And this to me, if my guides are saying that this is like literally the last week of September bleeding into October, then this would pretty much explain why it is September didn't pan out the way that you would like. And then for some of you guys, it's literally because of Mercury retrograde. And why would anybody want anything new to start during the retrograde? Because you just go end up going around the mulberry bush again. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, But so that's why this didn't work out, because there's loose ends that need to be tied up with something from the past, you know? And I feel that. So sorry to interrupt you guys while you're listening to the show, but I wanted to tell you guys about our new partnership with BetterHelp. If you haven't heard of them, it's an online resource in which you can find your very own friendly local neighborhood therapist, no matter where you are in the world. You sign up, and within 24 hours, they match you with a therapist that's right for you. And you can talk to your counselor every week via phone or video chat. You can also text them between sessions. If you or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Now let's get back to the show. Where this Six of Cups in the reverse is coming back is because it's kind of like, I'm seeing you get hit from two different sides. It's like in the present moment, stuff isn't working out the way that you hoped. So you're thinking, okay, something has to change. I need to go back to the drawing board. Then you can get a tad bit nostalgic with the Six of Cups in the reverse, where you're thinking, like, even if this is like, if you started a business and your business thought that it did, or, you thought taking on another job, whatever the case, it feels a lot to me like kind of stepping out on your own and taking a chance to do something yourself. And because it's not working out how you hoped, your mind is going backwards. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like regressing and thinking you made a mistake to get to where you are now, but you didn't make a mistake to get to where you are now. It's just that the timing is off. And like I said, some of you guys, it's a karmic cycle. Others of you, and they just said Saturn. Y'all, I have been going through so much stuff. I have not been looking at astrology. Probably should. Probably would explain why I'm going through a lot of things, but moving right along. They're saying something with Saturn. I think Saturn's retrograde right now. So it has something to do with that. Mercury retrograde, all the things, child. So whatever the case, this has been delayed, not denied, because loose ends need to be tied up with something from your past, even if this is speaking like relationally, you know what I'm saying? So say hypothetically, if there's money that was coming in, and like say you're in a less than stellar relationship with like a lazy loafer type of person that don't work, and this money is supposed to come in, you're trying to figure out why it hasn't come in yet. The reason why it hasn't is because this particular person would have to be out of the picture, because I feel they would take advantage of you, you know? But with the star in the reverse and the Six of Cups, it just feels to me kind of like a disillusionment. It's a tad bit of like losing hope, you know what I'm saying? And feeling like you need to go back to not necessarily just the drawing board, but mistakenly thinking that you need to go back to the situation that you left. And I don't feel that that's the case. Now, with the Justice in the reverse, of course, that's you guys' energy, that falling under this world card. It's like this situation that we're talking about, past tense, dude. This is something where it's there's a lack of reciprocity and it isn't fair to you. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know, dude, I'm getting all kinds of stuff. Because part of this sounds like a relationship to me. You know what I'm saying? Like a relationship that's past its expiration date. But the other side of this really feels like work related. And the other side of this feels a little too faint to where I can't even tap into it too much, but it feels more like an individual level, like more or less this holding pattern that you guys are in is for you to realize how it is you're perceiving yourself in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So almost like you being unfair to yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Because like my guides are pointing out these three cards, and how I'm seeing this is a person who's stuck on a mindset from the past, like a self-perception of yourself or a lack mentality, false core belief type of vibe. And that cycle is over with, right? But because this particular Libra's energy I'm picking up on is still seeing themselves in the light of the past, it's almost kind of like a war between your will and spirit's will. So spirit's will is trying to move you forward and you're moving yourself backwards because you can't see it. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the reason why, because like I never trip out about reversals, y'all, because I always say the energy is here, it's just blocked, right? So even with the star being here, it's not like necessarily peril, misery, and woe and like blah, right? It's just the fact that the energy is here for this to be upright. Oh, hell. Goddamn claws. The energy is here for these to be upright. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, it's your perspective, especially with this being a Pentacles card, because it's like, even with cups, emotions, they come and go, they're fluid, right? But with Earth, it's a little bit more like tactile, a little more like nail in the coffin kind of energy. So with one being stuck in this vibration, it's like, regardless of what happens, it's like your perspective would have to shift. So if your perspective doesn't shift and you're not able to see things um, from like a higher perspective or a more positive perspective, then you're always going to see it no matter how things are shifting and changing. You're always going to see the future as the past. I hope and pray that that makes sense, Libra. Okay. Next card, we have, okay, yeah, that's exactly what your friend Marlowe was saying. We have the Ten of Swords. So this is something that needs to end, man. When we talk about nail in the coffin, this is legit it. This is a cycle that needs to wrap up. And I'm saying in the sense of not like a cycle, like I'm saying with this karmic cycle, but I mean a cycle with yourself. It's like a cycle of thinking. You feel what I'm saying? Because with this Nine of Cups being here, it's still speaking to kind of repeating this same thing. And I feel like this is an energy that needs to be transcended, or a personal cycle or personal perspective or perception that needs to end. Because regardless of what happens, it's like always finding yourself in the same spot. And my God's child, they really talking today. Y'all must miss talking, huh? Because I ain't read the only readings that I've been doing are private readings, and the weekly that I do on my organization's website on our sanctuary. So my guys are probably like, oh my gosh, we get to talk, because they're legit just like, nah. But anywho, but with this Nine of Cups in the reverse, it's like it's a perpetual unrest, disharmony, unhappiness, like never feeling like anything is enough type of deal. But it's not like in a judgmental sense. It's just, gosh, Libra, it just feels very much being stuck into, like, even if, like, because what my guides are saying is like, with it being about money, it's almost like you take two steps forward, you take one step forward, you take two steps back type of deal. And it's like you still feel like you're in the cycle of the perpetual working. But the whole thing that I'm gathering from this is there's a decision that needs to be made to shift your perspective, even if that's in the sense of, like they're saying with money. It's like if you keep finding yourself in the same cycle of, you make a whole bunch of money, you're paying your bills, you're good, you're saving, and then all of a sudden, like, money kind of slows down, and now you're back at the same place that you were in before your money started getting good. But that's like a perpetual cycle. It's like there's something that's happening there that you're not paying attention to. So if I were to say this for like business owners, right? And even people who are on YouTube, it's like there's certain times of the year that your business, depending on what industry you're in, there's certain times a year when you make more money than you typically do for the rest of the year. Or even if we were to look at people who work seasonally, so you think about somebody who like does taxes, right? It's like people aren't going to be getting their taxes done until like January, and they have January until April. So a person who does taxes is going to work between January and April, right? And then after that, that's their off season. So it's kind of like, if you know that every year you only work between January and April, then that means your expenses to operate January through April, and what you need to survive for, you know, May all the way until December, going into January when tax season starts again, that means that you need to have a plan of making a certain amount of money and creating a budget of how you're going to spread that out over all 12 months. You feel what I'm saying? Including your overhead for your business expenses. But it's kind of like knowing that, like being aware, because you do this every year, right? And it's like when, you know, this time of the year comes October, it's like you're out of money. And you're sitting up here like freaking out, like, oh, why does this always happen to me? And it's like, it's not even like a like a karmic thing where, like, you know, God hates you, or, you know, whatever the case, like the universe is just against you. It's just, it's a poor management of your money. And you do this every year. So it's like the shift of perspective that I'm seeing is more or less the energy trying to tell Libras, like, hey, pay attention to what's going on here. Right. And that's what I'm seeing with this Four of Swords. It's a need to focus less on like these three swords, like the thing that's causing you peril, misery, and woe, which stressing you out. You feel what I'm saying? And needing to more or less go back to the drawing board in the sense of seeing what decisions is one making. And that would be why it is you guys are being held up. Because I do see the energy. I wanted to say energy, sounded like I said entity. But anyway, the energy is going to shift for you guys. It's going to happen in the month of October, especially if this is your solar return. Y'all are scales. Things are balancing out in your favor. You have more power of manifestation now than you do any other time of the year, Libra. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, and I would even tell you guys to use the Libra new moon as a chance to do this, to kind of why can't I freaking talk? Take a step back. It is Mercury retrograde when I'm recording this, at least. Anywho, but take a step back and get clear on what got you here, but don't fall into the mindset of like disaster thinking or things never work out for me. It's more or less you seeing what in your life is off kilter, what in your life is off balance, and what it is that you can do to balance these things out. So as opposed to focusing on what you don't have, focus on what you actually want, right? And a great time to set intentions for that would be for the new moon in Libra. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel it's focusing on what has been up until this point or what isn't working out now is what's keeping you guys trapped in this energy to where you can't see that spirit's literally trying to end a cycle and to put the nail in the coffin on this old way of being so that you guys have a new perspective on how you're moving forward. You feel what I'm saying? And it doesn't really feel to me as like something that's like super heavy. You know, like I said, like with the whole money thing, it's like it really feels like something as simple as that. It's like there's just a need to kind of create a plan and to balance things out properly and to really pay attention to what in your life, like even my guides are bringing me back to what I said in the very beginning. If someone has like a side hustle or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And you're trying to build up money, it's like needing to look at how you're spending. Like, yeah, you're working like crazy trying to stack up money, but how are you spending? Because you could be undermining yourself and not even aware of it and just, you know, thinking it's a universal thing or something. I hope that that makes sense, Libra. But I'm not doing an extended for this just because I'm trying to like breeze through these like hella quickly. So there's not going to be an extended for this. I'm probably going to do an entirely different you know, reading or whatever. But that's been your soul session for the month of October. So I love your freaking face, Libra. I hope this helped. You know what I'm saying? And I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends.